Hi, I'm Asia. I'm 28 years old. I'm originally from Houston, Texas, and this is a representation of my object, which is my cat, Nara. I was living with my partner at the time, and there was just one day where I was like, I need to have a good cry. And one thing that's gonna do it for me every time is an animal shelter. So we went to a few animal shelters, and one of the ones that we ended up at was Pasadena Animal Control. Going through, crying, all the things, and then get to like the reception area or what have you, and talking to them. And I'm like, I just want to know what the process is because I do at some point want to adopt an animal. And they're like, well, what you can do is you can make a list of the animals that you're interested in and we can kind of go from there, which I'm like, sounds like a trap, but okay. So go back through the enclosures and everything, make a list. There were 2 dogs and a cat. And the cat was this kitten. She was in like the top left corner enclosure. And like, I just, I saw her and immediately was like, wow, she has a presence to her. Like she's regal, They bring her out and she was so small. She was 3 months old, And so like just holding her and getting time to like rub on her and everything. And I'm already thinking about names. And anyway, so of course, because I have now touched and felt and all the things with this kitten, I'm smitten, My partner at the time bought the cat. He paid for everything and what have you. I just, signed off on all the paperwork because she was my cat. And, obviously I was the person who was the most invested in her as far as emotionally goes.
What did it mean to you then to take on this new ownership?
I grew up with dogs for most of my life. And so I've always understood to a certain extent the responsibility that comes with being a pet parent. But the thing about getting Nara specifically was throughout my life and specifically from teenhood onward, I've dealt with a lot of mental health issues, specifically depression. And, I've had problems with suicidal ideation and etc. And I knew that getting Nara would be kind of a grounding experience because this living creature relies upon me. And granted, she's a cat and she's an independent woman. And so ultimately, does she really need me? I don't know. That might be debatable. But I signed a contract saying, I am her caregiver and I take that very seriously. And so, I just knew that this would be something that would keep me on this earth because I take that commitment very seriously. And yeah, I just love her. And I'm getting emotional, but yeah, I wouldn't want to abandon her, So, yeah. So I had this painting commissioned by a friend of mine who just a very creative person and specifically specializes in pets and portraits and etc. What I love about the painting in particular is the way she so beautifully captured her eyes because that's one of the most alluring things about her. She'll position herself, and she'll look at you because she knows what she's doing. And so she'll look at you and she'll slow blink a bit, and then she'll straighten out and she'll cross her paws one over the other, and then she'll tilt her chin up. And I'm like, you goddess, you know exactly what you're doing. Sorry, I don't know if I can cuss about it. At the time that I got Nara, it was right before we ended things, a few months before, I should say. And basically, it ended because I had expressed some needs of mine, really one in particular, which is that I needed more time together, more like intentional time with this person. And I wasn't having that fulfilled repetitively. And I got to the point where I was like, okay, I can't continue to settle for this kind of dynamic. Yeah, so I left, and it was like me and Nara against the world. It was tough. It was a long relationship. But like, I don't know, relationships ending, that's a part of life.
I'd be curious to learn, did a cat help with a breakup?
Now when I look back on my relationship with this person who gave me Nara, I am extremely, extremely appreciative of it. Because again, like, the love of my life, the greatest gift I've ever been given. I'm getting emotional again, but yeah, I mean, yeah, she's really like a symbol of love, She was given to me out of love, and I continue to love her every day. And yeah, so I'm extremely appreciative of that, and overall, it was a very positive relationship. I learned about myself so much, so many things I learned about myself through that relationship. And in general, like, all my experiences, I'm really grateful for, because they teach me a lot and they make me who I am. So yeah, but I don't know. I really don't know, like, what kind of person I would be if Nara, hadn't come into my life. She's taught me so much. So I'm really grateful to have her, and to the person who gave me her. I am naturally leveling up even more in my boundary setting game. And I mean that to say that I am speaking up for myself more and speaking my truth, for a lack of a better term, more. Because from the time I was very young, that was not something that was necessarily encouraged. And I feel that there have historically been a lot of limitations as to how I can express myself and what that's supposed to look like. And I'm really kind of sick of that. So I've just been setting a lot of intentions to continue to be even more honest than I already am. As far as how that relates to romantically, I've just been like, yeah, these are the kinds of dynamics that I want in my relationships. These are what I don't want. And yeah, I need you to know that, and I need you to be very clear about that, because I'm not willing to accept, anything outside of that. To a certain extent, and there's nobody that's perfect. But yeah, I think like figuring out what I am allowing in my life and what I'm not is like the focus right now too. The only way out is through, so go through the feelings, and I hope that you're able to support yourself with, having a solid community of loved ones who hold space for you, and, find ways to like pour into yourself, and, whether that's like finding a project or something or another to just really like focus on and pour your love and creativity into.